Hey guys, so in this video, I will show you how to launch an Amazon EC2 instance. So first, you may want to go to this URL link, which is aws.amazon.com/console. So from there, you'll be able to find this orange button, sign into the console. And if this is the first time you use an AWS service, you may want to go ahead and create a new AWS account first. But in our case, I'm assuming we already have a AWS account and we can use that to log into the AWS console. So my root username is shanjohn@umb.edu. So I'm going to go ahead and alt enter my password, which brings me here. And before we do anything, it's a good idea to have a look at the server location. My default location is the US East, Ohio, US East #2 server. So here you may want to choose the server location that is closest to your current physical location. So in our course, I'm assuming we are in the East Coast. So I'm going to use the US East Ohio server for all the subsequent launching process. So the next step is to click the EC2 button here. But if this is the first time you ever used AWS, you may see nothing in the recently visited window here. But we can always access the EC2 service by searching EC2 and select the EC2 service that is returned. So from there, we can move on to the instances list that you can access from the panel on the left-hand side. Which shows all the currently running and stopping EC2 instances that you have. In my case, I have 2 instances that I created before, but probably you may have nothing showing up in your instances list. But don't worry, we can create our very first instance by hitting this Launch Instances button. Okay, so there you may want to give a instance name. So for my instance, I'm gonna name it as MSIS 671 Spring 2024. Okay, but the name here doesn't actually matter. You can give it any name that you want. And the next step is to choose an application and OS images. Which basically is allowing you to choose whether you want a Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, or whatever operating system that you want your EC2 server to have. In this course, we are going to use the Windows server, which comes with the Microsoft Windows Server 2022 base that is free tier eligible, which doesn't cost us extra money. Okay, so for the instance type list, here's where we configure the option to determine the specs of the virtual computer. The default option given to us is a T2 Micro, which is under the free tier eligibility. However, for this course, it's not enough. We may want to switch from T2 Micro to T3 Medium. Okay, so you can search T3.medium. Okay, to get this T3.medium that comes with 2 virtual CPU and 4 GB memory with it. Okay, so basically, the higher specs you choose, the more money Amazon will charge you monthly. So T3 Medium is not a free tier eligible instance type, but this is the minimum requirement for MSIS 671. So that's why we may want to choose it. Okay, so just make sure you choose T3 medium as the instance type for your instance. And after then, we can create a key pair which we use to log in to the EC2 instance that we create. Okay, so here we can create a new key pair, and okay, I'm going to use a key pair name MSIS671. You can give it any name that you want. Just make sure you can remember what it is. Alright, so we don't have to change the key pair type here, and we don't have to change the private key file format from here. Okay, then create key pair. Okay, so after doing so, file with the extension .pem will be saved on your local directory. Okay, so it's downloaded to my downloads folder here. So you may want to transfer this file to somewhere you can remember where it is. Okay, so in my case, I'm gonna just move this file under my MSIS671 AWS folder. Okay, so this is optional, but you may want to save it to somewhere you can remember how to reach that key file. Okay, so the next step is the network setting. For now, we can skip it. Okay, make sure that allow RDP traffic from is checked on. This is what we need to use remote desktop protocol to remote login to the EC2 virtual server. Okay, the next change you may want to make is the configure storage option that by default comes with 30 gigabytes, which is not enough for this course. So we may want to change it by increasing it to 50 gigabytes. Okay, we don't have to change the GB2 option, which is good enough. Okay, so later on, you can always increase the volume, storage volume retrospectively if you need more storage size. But according to my experience, 50 gigabytes should be more than enough for installing all the software plus some additional data that you may want to add into your project. Okay, so that's basically all the changes you need to make on the EC2 launch wizard screen. So then we can click the launch instance button. After clicking that button, you can come back to the instance list. You can click this instance list to come back to this screen. So as you can see, the MSIS671 Spring 2024 instance has just been created, but its status is still initializing. So usually it takes a minute or two for this status to become ready or say passed. So just be patient, and you can refresh this page from time to time to see whether it becomes ready. Okay, now it's ready in my instance. Okay, so only when this status check turns green, then you can move on to remote connect into your EC2 instance. So in order to remote desktop into your instance, you may want to check on the instance into which you want to remote desktop into, and then hit the connect button. Okay, so the following steps only apply to the Windows users. So first we need to switch to RDP Client tab on this screen. And scroll down to the bottom and hit the Get Password. and then hit the upload private key file and select the PEM file that we just created a few minutes ago. Okay, so then we can decrypt the password. Okay, so this is the password we use to remote desktop into the Amazon EC2 instance. Okay, you can copy the password to clipboard. Okay, hitting this right-click this button. Left-click this button to get it copied to your clipboard. And then we can download remote desktop file. Open it and hit connect. Okay, so from there, you can paste the password you just copied into your clipboard, and then hit OK. Okay, and hit yes. Okay, so then you'll be able to see an empty Windows desktop. Okay, so this is the place where we will be able to install all the software we need for this course later, such as the SQL Server 2022. Okay, so there's one thing we may want to be cautious is that whenever we don't use the EC2 instance, for example, you are done for today with the course, and then you want to stop the instance in order to prevent the Amazon from charging you extra money. So in order to stop an instance, we can choose the instance that we want to stop. Okay, for example, this running instance that we are using now. Okay, and then switch the instance state to stop instance. And now, as you can see, the instance state for MSIS 671 has been changed to stopped. Okay, so this will help you minimize the cost you are spending for the EC2 instances. And the next time when you want to connect to your EC2 instance again, you have to restart it. Okay, the process is identical to what we have just went through. Okay, click choose the instance, then start the instance. Okay, then wait another 1 or 2 minutes for the instance state to become running. Okay, so every time you connect to your instance, you have to redo all those steps, such as connecting, switch to RDP client, then get password, upload your private key file, choose the corresponding key file for your instance, and then decrypt password and copy the password. Okay, so be careful that this password may change from time to time, especially when you restart your Amazon EC2 instance. So you need to be repeating this step every time you connect to your Amazon EC2 instance. Right, so that's all for this video. So thank you for watching.